The long 18th century was a period of substantial change in the medical marketplace of England, focused in the bustling and rapidly growing city of London. Histories of health have focused primarily on the literate and literary elite, who wrote and crafted their own stories concerning their medical experiences, with far less attention being paid to the marginalised working poor of London. The working poor have been referred to by historians as the obscure among the obscure, and as a mute presence. These were highly mobile and industrious individuals who often went unrecorded in parish records and rarely wrote down their experiences with healthcare. My SSHRC-funded doctoral research explores the fracture prevalence and healthcare experience of the working poor in London, individuals who could not afford private physicians and instead relied upon voluntary hospitals for their healthcare. My research amplifies the lost voices of these individuals through uniting two forms of evidence. The first, skeletal remains of individuals who lived and died during the long 18th century derived from working-class cemeteries in London, and the second, contemporary hospital admission and discharge records from the voluntary hospitals operating in London. Fractures leave marks in the skeleton for years, potentially for a lifetime, thus providing the means for a modern observer to quantify the frequency of fractures in a skeletal sample. In addition, multiple years' worth of hospital admission and discharge records have survived, allowing me the privilege of examining these vital texts to discern what stories they may tell. Overwhelmingly, people chose to go to hospital for fractures that affected their ability to walk and work. Fractures to the legs and arms make up the majority of the hospital admission entries. In stark contrast, the skeletal sample contained hundreds of fractures to the ribs, as well as myriad fractures to the fingers and toes. This research has allowed me to discern traces of human choices made in the past concerning medical care. Dramatic patterns of injury do stand out. Male skeletons had plenty of fractures to the nasal bones and hand bones. This suggests episodes of interpersonal violence, which would match the contemporary fervor for boxing in England. In addition, there are clear parallels to contemporary injury patterns. Females more frequently fractured their ankles than males, a common finding in modern-day female athletes. My research contributes to an increased understanding of injury patterns in the past, both occupational and recreational, and allows me to recreate a snapshot of how people dealt with injury. Some accidents clearly required hospital care, while others must have been dealt with at home or with the help of alternative medical practitioners. There are echoes of these choices in modern-day medical care. Questions of who has access to healthcare and how they access a physician's advice are timeless and key to understanding our society today. The bones and records speak in concert to tell a vibrant story of how fractures affected people in the past. Detailed descriptions of fracture were noted by physicians, and for the working poor of London, the history of injury was quite literally written in their bones.